Who among the army men revealed the call of the traditional ruler to the bandits? You see, I've always said Nigerians should protect themselves and Nigerians should find a means to ensure that they are protected, not because the Nigerian military are not capable. No, far from that. The Nigerian military are more than capable. The problem is that majority of them are compromised. They are more loyal to the tenets of Islam than they are to the constitution of Nigeria. And that is why it is a dangerous thing at this time to trust or to place your trust or your security on the military, because a lot of them are jihadists and terrorist sympathizers. In Woro community, in Kwara State, that was recently attacked, where over 200 persons were unalived. You find out that what happened is that they have been coming, the terrorists, the Fulanis have been coming to want to make the people accept Sharia. I've told you that the process of Fulanization, once you get to the stage of Sharia, you are done. And so even though this is a Muslim community, they have been coming over and over to want the people to adopt Sharia as their governing rule, as against the Nigerian constitution. Although these people being Muslims, they said, no, we serve Allah or we serve God, but we rather prefer to still abide by the Nigerian constitution other than Sharia. And it has been a back and forth thing with this community and the terrorists. Now on this day, they wrote a letter to the chief, to the traditional ruler, either the Seriki or the king or the chief or whatever it is, that they were coming to have a sermon, to preach a Sharia to the people. And the king, knowing their intent, knowing the intent of the people, knowing what they would do, had informed, picked his phone and called the Nigerian military, exactly what every leader that is responsible would do. He called the military and informed them of the intent of these people, that they were coming for this purpose and for this purpose and for this purpose, and that please they need help in whatever way, either to come and protect them in the community or do all they can to ensure that these terrorists, these Fulanis, will not come to their community. And so after that, you expect that the army should rise up at that moment, get up themselves and come to defend the people. But no, guess what? Somebody from the army revealed the secret, revealed the conversation of the man to the bandits, to the terrorists. And because of that, the Fulanis became angry. The terrorists, the Islamists, the jihadists became very angry. I said, oh, so you mean you have the temerity, you have the infantry, you have the mind and the guts to go and report us, Abi? And because of that, they came with full force, with malice, with anger. What you saw was as a result of their anger, because they felt that this man had the guts to come and report us to the army. Somebody at the army betrayed the trust of the people. And so therefore they came with full force, destroyed lives and properties, unalive the people, massacred the people, because they were angry and said, how dare you report us to the military? Because somebody in the military is not loyal to the jihadists, he's not loyal to Islamization, he's not loyal to the Islamists than he is to the Nigerian state and the Nigerian constitution, even though he's still wearing the military uniform. Therefore, I demand that the investigation be made. Whosoever it is that revealed that information be exposed. We cannot live in a nation where we have people that are jihadists, because you know in this nation, those that are more loyal to Islam are much more than those that are loyal to the Nigerian state. I'm telling you. It is an abuse of power. It is against the integrity of the military. When you wear your uniform, you wear it with pride, you wear it with honor, you wear it with dignity. And you're right, according to the statement of the oath on your attestation day. When you go through attestation, there's something called attestation, where you have to swear an oath to protect the life and property of the people, of the Nigerian state, of the Nigerian people, of the Nigerian population, not of your religion. And now they are more loyal they are more loyal to Islam than they are to Nigerian state. That this man called them, so come and protect us. Exactly what this I'm saying. I'm not just saying it out. It's on Arise TV. Arise News took it. It was analyzed on Arise TV. Exactly the testimony of the traditional ruler. It was there. Go and check it on Arise. It is there. I'm not just forming this up. So who revealed it? And you see, we're just moving on. I'm tired of this fact that if nonsense will happen, I will just move on. We find it easy to move on. Shouldn't that battalion or that squad or that unit be probed? Who revealed the information to the terrorists? Who revealed the conversation of the man calling them to come and assist him because of what the Fulanis were coming to do? Who revealed it to the Fulanis that made them angry to come and do what they did? Maybe, just maybe the casualty would not be aware that, just maybe. But because they revealed it, the people came. You cannot defend them. Instead of you to leave them for their own and tell them we cannot defend you, you now reveal their secret. You reveal their conversation to the people that they were afraid of. What a barbaric thing to do. How have we become so animalistic in our mind? Eh? What nonsense is this? The military I know, I know the military. I was trained in the military school. I understand the integrity of the when you wear that uniform, you wear with pride, and you want to do everything possible to justify the honesty, to justify your training, to justify the drill you've received in that military, in that service, so as to be able to protect the people. And you want to wear with dignity. Now you have a lot of Islamists in the military. I've told you, if you ever have a challenge and you're looking for people to, you want to call the military, ensure whosoever is a Christian. If you call a Muslim, there are chances that he might be more loyal to the Islamists, more loyal to Sharia than he is to Nigeria. And if that is the case, be rest assured that your calamity has not been increased. You see, we advocate for the society. We advocate for the Nigerian people, either Christian or Muslim. I've told you I don't hate Muslims. I want to be in a nation where anybody can practice your own, I practice my own. According to the scripture, according to my mandate, I have the responsibility to preach to you. If you don't accept it, it's your choice. I will not kill you for, I don't have the right to kill it. I shouldn't do that. Why will some people want to Islamize? They have this Islamization thing in mind, being facilitated and enabled by the jihadists in the north, by the oligarchs. That the Fulani man was even caught with a rifle that is registered to the NSA, National Security Advisor's Office, to the NSA or one of those departments, the department that no regard to the National Security Advisor list, registered there, and they came back and gave you some nonsensical, stupid excuses, and you believe it because they know you believe it. Nobody has said that again. That one also has been swept on that. How did the weapon get to his house, to the house of a Fulani man? They came and they said, what is that excuse? The vigilante program. What nonsense vigilante program? Register a rifle. I've told you, these people have been facilitated by men in the military, men high in government. How will a Fulani man get money to buy a rifle, an AK-47 gun? We demand a probe. Whosoever in that squad, that conversation must be traced. Who did he call? Who received the call of the man? How were the people that were there when he was talking? Those people should be probed. They should be charged. They should be cosmetic. Whatever it should be investigated. We cannot live in a place where we cannot trust men in uniform anymore, because we are afraid that they will reveal our secret to the people that want to kill us, that want to unalive us. Exactly what happened. Let that man be investigated. Whosoever it is, let to be investigated. And for the church, I've said it. We must initiate the procedural program. You see, I keep saying this to you. Think a day is coming, you think I'm foolish. There was a time a man kept talking about this same thing. This same thing, a man from the east kept talking about this same thing. We thought it was foolish. Until now, we are seeing the reality of it presently going on. I'm still telling you that the Nigerian military cannot protect you. Initiate a program, a security network to defend Christian communities in the north and all over the Nigeria, to defend the church. That will be facilitated and sponsored by the church. If you think of 20, 30 years from today, you'll be surprised we'll still be here battling with this issue. After all, who knew that what started in 2009, this is 2026? A whooping 16 or 17 years after, we're still battling with it. Initiate the Crusaders program now. Ensure that the church is secured. Deploy them to Christian communities. I'm saying it again. Listen to me. PFA, listen to me. Otherwise, the blood of these people will be on that, because exactly the same way the blood of the people that was unalive in Woro community is on the head of the military. Whosoever revealed the information, the blood is on his head. He should be arrested. Listen to me. Begin to put together a program where you can raise men to defend the church. Don't say you are trusting of the military. They'll work hand in hand with the military, but their job will be responsible for the church and Christian communities. I'll say this, so you can look at me and say I shout a lot. I say this man of God talks a lot. No problem. Time will justify it. Prosperity will judge us all. If you think I'm playing, if you think I'm wasting my time, no problem. I know what I'm saying. There are things that I have that I've not even revealed. When I look at, anytime I go to look at those documents again, I see the evil they have plotted there. I know what I'm saying, no. I know exactly what I'm saying. If you can think I'm foolish, no problem. If you think I'm foolish, you're the one that is foolish. No problem. We'll be here. I pity you. I pity Nigerians, because you have no idea what is coming for you. Nigerians, you have no idea what is coming for you. I pity you. Whosoever reviewed that thing should be investigated now. I demand an investigation now. Thank you.
The thing wey dey happen for Southwest now don pass small thing o. Today, Sunday, February 22, 2026, Okocha Happy Marcel don drop one heavy video wey go make your hair stand. He say no be mistake, say they dey kill our kings, say na calculated jihad wey start since 1804. He claim say over 10 Yoruba monarchs and 30,000 Yoruba people don lose their life for recent years because of this agenda. If you think say na just banditry, you need to hear this historical breakdown. Just few days ago, on February 19, another monarch for Ondo State was murdered for inside his palace. People dey take am as normal trend, but Okocha say e no be normal at all. E go back to history to show us how the Sokoto Caliphate take capture Hausa lands and turn them to emirates. E say the same script na wetin dey apply for Yoruba land now. Make we enter the deep gist of this holy war where many people dey fear to talk about. Okocha no bite tongue at all. E list the kings wey don fall. Onimojo of Imojo Ekiti killed January 2024 after security meeting. Elesun of Esun Ekiti ambushed and killed the same day. Olukoro of Koro Ekiti killed inside his palace for Kwara State, Feb 1, 2024. Oli Kono Monarch, the most recent one on Feb 18, 2026. But the part wey go shock you pass na the military betrayal. Okocha talk about one community for Kwara where over 200 people kpai. He said the king called military for help because he hear say jihadists dey come force them to accept Sharia. Instead of the army to come, person for inside the military allegedly call the terrorists, tell them say the king don report them. Na so the terrorists come with full force because they vex say the king get liver to report them. He say many for the military loyal to their religion pass the constitution. The data. Professor Akintoye claims say 29,000 to 30,000 Yorubas don kpai since 2024. The history. 1804 jihad led by Usman Dan Fodio. The pattern. Kill the king, take the land, install an emir. The weapon. Claim say some weapons found with bandits belong to the NSA's office. Demand. Investigation into the military unit wey leak the Kwara king's call. Okocha explains say jihad no be just fight, na system to change the rulership of a place. He say wetin happen for Ilori, Yoruba land we get emir, na the blueprint. If the system continue to kill monarchs, one day we go wake up see say emirates don full everywhere for southwest. He tell people make they no expect change from election again because the system don already balance for one side. He compared the situation to wetin dey happen for Iran, where religion dey control everything. He say Nigeria no be nation yet because we no get one ideology or one purpose. That na why revolution dey hard to start. The warning. Okocha say if the church and Yoruba leaders no build their own security network, they go regret am for future. The reality. Many people go say e dey talk religious or e dey hate certain tribe, but he say e just dey deal with reality of wetin dey ground. The effect na say people don dey fear their own traditional rulers. If king no dey safe for palace, who go safe for farm? This one dey destroy the traditional institution of the Yoruba people wey don last for centuries. Abeg, I wan hear from una. Do you believe there is a hidden agenda to replace Yoruba kings with emirates? And wetin you think about this military betrayal gist? Drop your comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more bitter truth updates. Okocha say he pity Nigerians because you have no idea what is coming for you. He say people like Jesus Christ and others wey speak truth always face wahala, but truth must be told. Wetin we expect? If this trend continue, Okocha predicts say more monarchs go fall and the emirates titles go start to pop up for places where we no expect. He call for the church, CAN, PFN to raise men to defend Christian and Yoruba communities before it's too late. The key points recap. Over 10 Yoruba monarchs and 30,000 people allegedly killed by jihadists. Recent killing of Ondo monarch on Feb 19, 2026 sparked this outcry. Accusations say military informants betray kings who report terrorist movements. Historical link between the 1804 jihad and current attacks on Yoruba land. Call for the establishment of independent community security networks. Truth is bitter, but not only truth fit set us free. Whether you agree with Okocha or not, the blood wey dey flow for our land na real. Stay woke and stay safe. I go see you for the next one. One love.